So when we are trading, because we may be around a specific area where we may be looking for a buy, does not necessarily mean that you guys should just go ahead and buy the trade, right? Because if trading was that easy, everybody would be millionaires, right? So always remember that somebody has to lose in order for somebody to win. So it's your duty to do your work so that we could also outsmart, right, the strategy, so that we could get proper entry, we could get good entry, and we have proper risk management set. I say that because, 1 second. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's look at EU. 1 second. Wow. So EU, we were looking for the trade here, if you guys remember, for us to get that break and continue for the buy, right? Now, where we identify structure, first of all, we have, let me remove some of these things, and let me remove the Fibonacci. So you would notice that on my bounce back calls that I often tell you guys, even although we are trading trend lines, always look for structure to break. Because if structure does not break, means that it's going to reverse. So you don't want to be entering a trade. Let's say, for example, we were looking for this to come up, to break and go to the top, right? So it never brought structure. And structure was our red line here, our area that we would have identified, right? So it never brought structure. And if we look back and we look left and we did our homework, we could have easily identified, come over here, where structure is, right? It would carry it to there. So you can see that the trade brought down and continued selling and dropped all the way down. So even although you may have the starting of a trade, so you may look at this and say, this looks like we're going to get a start of a trend, right? But always remember, do not buy unless it breaks structure. That's key. You get your trend line break, you get your structural break, you know that the trade definitely is going in that direction. Another trade would have been U-Chef. We were looking at a U-Chef sell last week. Obviously, they run opposite. So if you don't know that U-Chef runs opposite to your USD, you don't know, right? So we were looking for U-Chef to break. It actually never broke my trend line. So let me first put that out there. So if we saw here, right? We never had a trend line break, right? It just continued to buy. This was the 61.8 range around here, right? Now, for me, let me just make sure that is the 61.8. And for those who don't know where to identify the Fibonacci, we're using the pitchfork, and you're going for the Fibonacci retracement, right? Good. So this is the 61.8 range here, right? One second. Let me reverse it. Good. This is the 61.8 range right here. So we would have identified this area here, right? This area here as our 61.8 range. So we were looking for trend line break and structure to break as well. So we never got structure to break. Structure never broke. It just bounced and continued up. So when you're looking for your trades, although you would have notes to say, okay, I'm looking for, this is a strong move to the downside. We get a nice pullback. This could be the start of my 5 waves. How do I know for sure that this is the start? You need a couple of confirmations. You need for your trend line to break, and you need for your structure, your current structure, to break as well. To Euro USD. It's opposite to Euro USD. So if EU sells, USHF will buy. Right? So let's look at bounce back. I just wanted to touch on that. Let's look at bounce back. So we got a couple of trades coming up. But I can start with GBP JPY. So GBP JPY is called for a buy on time frame 1 hour. I just have to make sure. I have a mouse problem, but anyway. So let's go GBP JPY, and it's calling for a buy. Right? So when we look at bounce back, it's calling for buy around 129, 104. Right? So first thing, 129, 104. Let's identify that range, that area, using the horizontal array. You guys should already know how to use this. So this is where bounce back called this buy. From here, right? So the first thing we want to do, join the trend line, right? To start from any height. Make sure that you have your 50 moving average line, right? 50 moving average line when using bounce back. Now I have had some questions about whether I should stick to my 50 moving average line with regards to a confirmation as one of the confirmations that we will use to get into a trade. Yes, you should. The reason why is that majority of the times when it comes to entry, 50 moving average line lines up with structure. You will notice that the line is actually right now above current structure, right? Structure is here. Current structure is here. So if you guys going to work tomorrow, you're going to be busy tomorrow, or you don't know if you'll be able to catch this trade because you may be sleeping, you can simply set buy stops, right, above structure, but give yourself some room. I always say about 15 pips above the current structure, right? 15 pips is where you should set it above current structure, right? So your buy stop, if everybody want to make note of this, for this buy will be around 128,410. Right, that's 15 pips above the structure. So what do we have here? It's currently above the 50 moving average line. So it's not above it now, but I mean the buy stop would be above the 50 moving average line, the breaking of the trend line, and the breaking of structure. So everything would more or less line up here, right? So if you could see what it is I'm talking about, say I in the chat box. I didn't have the RSI up just now. I had the stochastic. Notice that. And for the stochastic, you use stochastic for trading in between zones. So I just removed that just now because that was not relevant for this particular setup. So if you are looking, and this is a note for you to make, right? For you guys to make. So make sure you put this down. If you are looking to place a pending order, right, at a particular spot, first of all, you need to identify the pattern you're trading. Right? So identifying the pattern is key. So some of you might just say, look, I'm looking for a break of structure on this trend line, right? Let me identify, sorry, I'm looking for a breadth of the trend line to continue for a buy or a retracement based on what bounce back is saying, right? So when it breaks the trend line, how do I know that it wouldn't reverse? Look for current structure, right? Look for current structure. So you have structure right here. Identify structure with a rectangular box. And then at the top of your rectangle box, take your ruler, right? And measure 15 pips up. And that is where you should put your buy stop. Always give the trade some space, because it is very likely that the trade will break the trend line and continue to range before it breaks this structure right here. Right? So it's important for you to do this. So make sure you make that note, because I know a lot of you guys miss setups because you're not able to watch your laptop or your phone, or you're not able to catch the alert on time. 15 pips above structure or below structure if you're doing a sell. Right? So where will we trade this to? So you could trade it up until where bounce back had called the original buy, which will also be a structure point. Right? So I would put it around here. And I'm going to change the color to green. So this is your take profit zone right here. Right? That's your take profit zone. So how many pips is that? Coming from here, that's about 46, 44, between 44 and 46 pips. It is an inverse head and shoulders. I just didn't want to mention it. It is an inverse head and shoulders pattern here. Right? So you got the shoulder, the head, and the shoulder. Right? By trying to keep it basic for those that are new, beginners, and so on. I don't want to confuse them with pattern names right now. So that's why I'm just calling it structure, because the top of this structure is the neckline of that head, of that inverse head and shoulders. So we basically want to catch the buy of the breaking of that neckline. And notice how the 50 moving average line lines up nice with that neckline. It literally is right there. So once the trade breaks with a solid body candle above the 50 moving average line, we're good for a buy. So you guys can literally catch 44 pips, between 44 and 46 pips in a buy for GJ this week. Right? That's a bounce back trade. If you can't hear me, you might need to, at the bottom, you should see something called join via audio or join via internet audio. Somebody type that to her, please. Right? So you got that. No, net setup. UCAD. Right? UCAD also has a head and shoulders pattern forming. There we go. Right? Head and shoulders pattern. You got the left shoulder, head, and now the right shoulder is actually forming. Right? So make note of your watch list that I'm giving you. Make note of it. If you want to trade this sell move, this is the trend line that you need. Right? This is the trend line that you need. So currently we have 1, 2, 3 touches of the trend line. The notes that I am going to give you for that is, right, those are your notes. for today. And it lines up beautiful with this pattern. Left shoulder, head, we now forming the right shoulder, right? But on the trend line itself, we have 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touches. What do we have here? 2 touches activate the trend line, so you have the 2 touches. 3 touches confirm the trend line, so we definitely have a trend line that is confirmed. Look for the braid on the 4th touch, which will line up with this pattern. Why? Because of the head and shoulders pattern, we know that we're looking for a drop to come, right? So when trade actually comes back down to our trend line is when we will be looking for that braid, which will line up beautifully with the pattern that we have right now. So if you could see this pattern and you could see the movement and you agree with the cell, type in the chat pips. Just type pips, sorry. Let me make sure that everybody got it. So you got GJ for buy, UCAT for sell, pips is what I want to see in the chat box. Let's go. Only 4 people catching these pips. All right, so let's look at take profit points. So first TP, right? Don't get greedy now. Don't get greedy. First take profit is here. That's TP1. Yeah. Second take profit is here. This is TP2. Right? I want to go past TP2 right now. Why? Because I gave you guys a little nugget about head and shoulders pattern either last week or week before, how we measure the head to the neckline to confirm how big the move is going to be, right? That was a nugget that I shared. Who remember that nugget? Say I in the chat box. Excellent. So using a trend line on the left hand side, you're going to come here by the head, sorry, and we're going to take a trend line down to the neckline, right? Neckline is here. Move the trend line, bring it to the neckline, right? And it shows you how big of a move we will be expecting in the head and shoulders pattern. Can everybody see how this measurement lines up with structure? If you can see that, please type pips in the chat box. Good. Excellent. So 2 beautiful setups. You got GJ coming for a buy. You got UCAD coming for a sell. We'll be looking at, if you want to enter a sell stop on this, I will tell you to do sell stop. Wait, hang on, let me measure it for you. So this is structure here. So measure 15 pips. 15 pips should bring you just by this TP1. So if you really want to enter a sell stop, your sell stop should be around here. Right? So you would put your sell stop here at 133.069, and your take profit will be this take profit zone here. Right? How many pips is that? So 2 setups, a total of 70 pips that you guys have so far for the week. Total of 70 pips. And that has nothing to do with the other setups that bounce back with a sent out. You have bounce back sent out a sell on USD CAD as well. So you already have that. So you see how the pattern, structure, trend line, everything that I've done for you guys line up with bounce back, right? So you got bounce back, identify the GBP, JPY buy, the sell on USD CAD, And if you don't trade crypto, then you can leave out this one on Ethereum US dollar, the buy on GBP Chef, and the buy on Euro USD, right? So let's do those two, the buy on GBP Chef. Let's look at GBP Chef and see if we like that setup. And guys, let me also say, you do not have to trade every single setup that Bounceback sends out, all right? You don't have to do it. Look for the setup that you love the most and stick to it. Another head and shoulders pattern here, right? Another head and shoulders pattern. I joined the trend line from there because the neckline is a bit slanted, right? This is a shoulder, head, and shoulder here forming again, but the neckline is a bit slanted. So entry anywhere above this structure. Let me change the color for you, right? Anywhere above this structure zone here, this zone. So if you wanted to, because if you look to enter this trade here, you're likely to get stuck in this zone. Notice that we still have some reversals here, right? So don't enter the trade when it break the trend line and as soon as it break the 50 moving average, because it likely to go up to the top and reverse. Yeah, 2 touches, 3 touches if you wanted to, if it had to bring it down. If it had to do that, you would have had 1, 2, 3. So looking for the break any minute now, but it bringing it up to line up with my 50 moving average right now, given that the neckline of the head and shoulders is a bit slanted, right? So I bring up the trend line so that you guys don't get caught in this structure. So buy stop, if you wanted to enter buy stop, enter around here. Let me just set it for you. Here, right? Decent area, 15 pips above structure, and your take profit zone is here. This is take profit right there, right? Sorry. That's your take profit zone. That would have given you just around 30 pips. So that's 100 pips total, 3 setups, 100 pips, right? Because the first one was around 40. Second one was around 30. Third one is around 30. That's 100 pips, right? So all you guys need to do is just wait for the setup to happen. The buy stop price is 1.19819. All you need to do is wait for the setup. Please do not rush the setup. Do not get greedy, right? Wait for price to line up. That's all you need to do, right? And the last pattern that we're going to look at, so if you want to go ahead, and I will copy these into TradingView, not into TradingView, into Telegram, the Bounceback group chat. I will put them in there, but I'm just letting you guys see how I analyze the Bounceback trades, what we're looking for, how we're looking for structure to line up, so that when you go now and you go and do your own work, you should be able to see how easy it is. Yes, I do use the 15-minute for my entry, right? So the last setup now is Euro USD on the 4-hour time frame. Right? Euro USD on the 4-hour time frame. I'm going to move these notes. So 4-hour time frame. First thing you're gonna do, draw the trend line, but I'm gonna make sure that I got hit there on the 15-minute, on the 30-minute, right? So let me come out on the 1 hour. Let me do it on the 1 hour for you guys. Right here. Please do not try to force the trade. Please do not force the trade. Do not force the trend line. Right? Do not force the trend line. A lot of people look at this and say, but it's real far from the trade. Don't worry. Don't force the trend line. Let it come to you. All right? Let it come to you. So what do we have here? We have an inverse head and shoulders form. Everybody could see that. Again, shoulder, head, waiting for the shoulder to form, right? So more likely, this shoulder should carry us straight out to this trend line. So do not force a trend line, because I know a lot of you guys that would have come here and said, look, this look too far out. Let me come from here and bring my trend line there, right? Try not to force it. You don't have to force it, all right? So structure anywhere above here is where you're looking to enter, right? Don't get caught up in the reversals. Don't get caught up in the reversals, right? And your take profit zone, is around here. That's TP1. So you still got a long ways to go. You could actually cut this in half if you wanted to. Right? You could cut this in half if you wanted to. But this is a long way to go. Right? 15 pips above if you want to do a buy stop. So from here, measure 15 pips. We'll bring you to around here. Right? Let's see. Buy stop there at 1.10108. Right? That will be clearly above structure, so you will be in a good zone. And right up to take profit will give you about 38 pips. And those are your setups. 4 beautiful setups. All of them are head and shoulders patterns. You couldn't want it better than that. All of them are head and shoulder patterns. GBP Chef, inverted head and shoulders. Euro USD, inverted head and shoulders. GBP JPY, inverted head and shoulders. And USD CAD, regular head and shoulders. So you have 4 head and shoulders patterns, about 150 pips that you can catch just from bounce back from the few trades that they sent out for the week already. So a lot of you could just take that 150 pips and be done for the week. Right? And be done for the week. So let's look at the chart. What justifies a take profit zone? Support and resistance. Right? So all you need to do, if you want to look for take profit zone, you're looking for previous support, which equals to resistance, right? I call it structure. So we're basically looking for the market to respect support equals resistance. And if you don't know that, then you need to go through the academy and also watch my previous YouTube videos, right? Any other questions? That's it here. Bounce back is different to levels and go up. This is another product, so I can't compare. Two different things, right? So guys, if you would have seen and know that you can catch pips this week from these 4 setups, please type pips in the chat box. You got 4 beautiful setups. If you know that you can catch these pips this week, type pips in the chat box. Excellent, 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 excellent. All right, guys, so that would be it for today's call. All right, you got 4 setups, 150 pips. The call is recorded. We'll post it on YouTube now, right? So you could always go back through it if you need to. For my moving average one, you can go through my YouTube channel, I actually have a moving average video on there where I talk about how to set up the moving average and so on your trading view. Right, so guys, thank you so much for joining me this evening. I hope that you've learned something, you've able to catch some nuggets, you've made some notes in your notepads, you have 4 trades set up for the week that you can follow, that you can catch some money, right? And I will see you guys again next week, Tuesday, for some more pips and some more value. Thanks a lot for joining me. Have a good evening.